Afternoon, everyone. Welcome once again to A.O.S Academy's YouTube channel. Here we talk about everything related to language studies for those who are actually learning the English language, the French language, Spanish language, German or Chinese language. Likewise, we also help in preparing for IELTS examination, TEF Canada examination, or TCF Canada examination. And lastly, we work on anything related to Canada immigration processing. So if you are currently working on your Canada immigration application or you want us to assist you, then you can always reach out to us on this channel or even on through our various contact details. Today we are going to be continuing with our talk with A.O.S Q&A session, and the Q&A session today is going to be centered on the question 209. And the question actually goes thus. The question states that, is it possible to JAPA to Canada with little amount of money? How? And this question was asked by Tolani Odeleye from Nigeria. Now, the question, as I said, was extracted from our JAPA to Canada in 2023 Q&As webinars. The question is actually centered on fees when it comes to relocating to Canada. The question states that how much, if for instance you want to go to Canada and you don't really have much money in terms of your proof of funds or in terms of the money you have for your processing, as someone that is trying to be thrifty, if you want to actually save up on some amount, you can actually do it in various amounts of ways. Firstly, if you want to relocate to Canada, the concept of JAPA as we have it in Nigeria is that it basically means to relocate or to migrate to Canada. So if you want to actually relocate or migrate to Canada and you don't really have much, in other words, you don't really have much to spend on your Canada immigration, I would state that there are about 3, 4, 5 different ways that you could do it. And we have explained this in detail in our Make Money and Migrate to Canada webinar we had on the 18th of February 2023. So I'm going to drop the link in the comment section or in the chat section of this video to that webinar. You could go and actually watch that webinar where we explained in detail, do you understand, what you really need to have and what you really need to do as regards using the little money you have or not even using your own money at all to actually work on your relocation process. But nonetheless, I will still mention about 3 to 4 different ways you could do it. If for instance you don't have much and you want to relocate to Canada, there are diverse ways you could do it. And some of the ways we talked about in our past webinar session, we said you could actually use other people's money, and that is what we call the OPM, other people's money. In other words, you could work for people, you could work for international, you understand, students, you could work for let's say immigrants, other immigrants that are working on their study visas, on their work permits, on their permanent residency. Likewise, you could actually make use of some banks. Do you understand? You could get loans from some banks, whether the commercial banks or the microfinance banks. Do you understand? Those are ways you could actually get to afford your relocation process. Likewise, you could actually work to not only assist people but to refer people to other immigrants or to refer people to other representatives or agents or, say to speak, licensed immigration consultants that would assist them. Take for instance, if you have friends and family that have money, you understand, and you want to actually refer them, you could strike a kind of bargain, a kind of agreement with immigration officers, or how would I call it now, travel agencies, representatives that are in the business of assisting people to relocate. Do you understand? So they could actually give you some certain amount of commissions to for you to actually refer those sets of people. So as a result of that, you could actually make money, do you understand, in that process by not just giving them the links, not just giving them the customers, but also getting paid for the work that you have done in terms of referring them and talking to them about how quality their works, you understand, are. So basically, if again you want to make money and you don't want to necessarily um get to spend time working for people. Do you understand? You could actually use money lenders, and all those normal people that assist with proof of funds, that assist with processing fees. You could work with organizations, non-profit organizations, for instance, that are willing to assist people. If, for instance, you are in a company whereby they have a travel allowance, do you understand? Or do you understand migration tips that they give? You could actually get that company to, you understand, give you some monies or sponsor that your particular program, and for you to actually get to work for them. And maybe you have been working for them for years or months. Based on what you have worked, you may have qualified for some travel allowances and things like that to allow you to be able to fund your relocation process. And lastly, the other way you could use it, or the other way you could spend little amounts of money, is that you could actually make use of companies in Canada, employers in Canada. In other words, you could actually source for valid job offers from Canadian employers. And once you source for those kind of offers, they would actually give you a job in Canada. You could get a job, a valid job that would sponsor your visa, that would sponsor your relocation fees, that would sponsor your processing, and you will just have to work for them when you actually land in Canada. And the beauty of that is that you may not only sponsor yourself, they may not just only sponsor you, but they may also sponsor your spouse or your partner. They could sponsor your child or your children, and they could sponsor all other people that you would also want to sponsor as you are going to Canada or when you get to Canada. So that's another viable way you could use it, even with having little amount of money. And some people will not really talk about saving money when it comes to relocation. And even as you said, you have little amounts of money, you may not really need a lot of money if the monies you have are quite reasonable. Do you understand? So you may just need to save up on your processing and not waste funds. And a particular instance of not wasting fund is for you to submit complete application. Do you understand? So that you don't tend to waste money that are not yet available, or waste money that you don't even already have, or the ones that you have currently, you may not squander it by actually giving a complete application. And when you give a complete application, what that will avail you of is that you would be accepted, you will be approved, you will not need to spend 2 times, 3 times to do one particular processing at a time. Do you understand? For people that are working on medicals, for instance, you may be wise to do upfront medicals, but that is only when you are getting responses already from the Canadian Immigration Office. If you are not getting responses, it will be wise of you to not yet, for instance, pay for medicals and wait for them to tell you to do it before you do it, so that you don't actually waste funds that you don't even currently have. And there are all other ways you can actually save money. As I've said, I will drop the link of the webinar we did last in the live chat session of this video, so that you could go through it. And we talked in details how you could make money to relocate to Canada, how you could save money to migrate to Canada, and how you could use other people's, you understand, money, OPM, other people's money, to actually afford and to cater for your own relocation process. So I hope all that helps you. If you have any questions at all that you would like to ask me, then drop it on the comment section of this video. And also like and share this video with your friends and family. And do not forget to actually subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit on the notification bell in order to get updated anytime we drop a content. So thank you very much once again for watching our video. And I do hope to see you every day, as we do always have these sessions every day by 3 p.m. West African time and 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So always join us to actually learn more about what we do as a company, and how you, as well as an immigrant, can actually make use of all the nuggets and tips we're actually sharing over here. So thank you very much once again, and I do hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.